Alright, what's going on YouTube? So we are doing Kingdom Rush level 14, the Silveroak Outpost on veteran mode. So for our towers, we're going to switch out our Dark Knight Fortress for the new one we got, the Elite Harassers. And then again, this is a free-to-play tower. We did not pay to get this, so this is a one you will just earn naturally as you beat the campaign. And we're going to keep everything else the same. So we have the Mausoleum, the Inferno, and then the Archers. Our level 10 hero, everything is maxed out. Master Architects, Ultimate Power, Pit Lord, Fear of the Damned, and Soul Echoes will be our upgrades, same as last video. And starting off here, we can see these little spider things. Let me get this nice little cutscene. Do you bleed? Because you certainly will. Very cool animation there. There are 3 different spots that enemies can come. There's this bottom area in the center, there's the spot over to the left-hand side at the bottom, and then there is a spot at the left-hand side at the top. I'm going to start off by putting a Harasser, an Archer Tower, an Inferno Tower, and then I'm going to end up upgrading our Archer Tower as well. And then down here I'm putting another Archer Tower. These will be really important because there'll be some guys with a lot of magic resist that are very weak to Archer Towers, and they're just going to want to die quickly. I upgraded all the way to level 4 on the middle there to cover both lanes, level 2 in the center on the other side, and then Inferno Tower level 2. And I'm just going to put my hero there to kind of chill, because this is the first row in which enemies will appear. The idea was to have him stand a little bit farther back so that the Inferno Tower could start to do damage as well. But because these are very squishy guys, they die before they even get range of the Inferno Tower, so that's fine too. Now, I'm going to move my hero up to the top now and put points into the Archer Tower. He'll be standing as a barracks until we can get the Harassers up. The bottom tower should have enough damage to take care of itself, or bottom area. Gotta be careful with these dogs because we're going for 20 lives, and even one dog can run by and run your game. You're gonna have to reset if you want those 20 lives. And this is a pretty cool little spiders you can upgrade. They give you like kind of like a makeshift infantry or barracks. They just give you like little extra stalling. So you can see I'm putting a Harasser Tower there. This will be like our first main choke point, which should deal with a lot of these low HP enemies. Nothing too exciting happening on the other side yet. That dog is I was worried for a second it might get away, but it died, thankfully, to the Archer Tower. And now we're about ready to call stuff in again. I'm going to move my hero down to the bottom on the left-hand side. Or I'm sorry, right-hand side. This is the right-hand side. Ugh, not left-hand side. And this is where he's going to stay for most of the game. Sometimes, if you notice in the center, this random enemy hero, they'll just appear, and they're going to summon new guys. And these guys are annoying because they actually are quite tanky. They're called Elven Rangers. So just be aware of that. Sometimes, if they're deep into your defenses, they can run past, if you're not paying attention, but just keep an eye on it. Our hero, notice he's standing there doing a very good job. I don't have to put any barracks at this bottom right hand side. It's just our hero is doing work. Now you notice they went through that little tunnel. They're going to come out at this bottom left over here where the spider is killing the guys off. I'm going to call the Wyvern early, and I'm going to upgrade our Archer Tower to help deal with these new enemies. Now, as far as the spiders go, I found them pretty helpful, so I went ahead and put points into them. I wouldn't rush them, just kind of as you see, or as you have money to put points into them, you may want to consider building spiders just because they're kind of fun, and they do quite a bit of stalling, so it's nice to have. You can see they have those little eggs and they hatch and they just stand there. and act as like a temporary barracks. Now our hero did rotate over to this other lane to help kill off some of these captains. And I called him the wave pretty early there after I upgraded the harassers. Yeah, lots of fast things on the top. So you have the doggies and the eagles. I have a level 3 archer tower at the top at this point, and then a level 2 harasser. Actually, I think it's level 3 harasser. We just want to make sure we pick off all these little things. Our hero's just going to chill. He's going to go back over to the bottom right to kill off these recruits. And then you notice I'm building an artillery tower at this little fork here with the idea that I would have to kill off lots of little things if anything happened to slip by. And putting up another archer tower just a little bit farther back as the eagles are starting to slip by. Just a little more DPS. Now level 3 on the Mausoleum. This is going to be our main stalling point on the bottom right hand side. So our hero can stand there and the guys can get chucked with the Mausoleum pelts. And then I'm putting down a harasser at the bottom left. Anything that happens to slip by will hopefully get stalled right there and take artillery damage. But yeah, it's all. This level is just mostly about balancing your sides. You want to You kind of have to evenly distribute your forces, so that because they come out at both sides. Just pay attention to what's going on. You should be fine. Nothing is like insanely powerful on each side, but there's just a lot of stuff going on. So if you neglect one side, you may end up having something slip by. Here you get these devoted priestesses, and they do a lot of healing. So, but fortunately they're very weak to archers. That's why I have the double archers right there at the center. And another teleport in for the priestess or the huntress or whatever, just summoning more guys, no big deal. We have our Inferno tower there is going to take care of them. Now, notice that I have 3 level 4 archer towers. I think that's a really important upgrade because there's just so many little things that can slip by that it's very helpful to have lots of archers to take care of this stuff. I'm just calling the wave in early. So level 8 now. Your defense should look something like this. I think the important stuff is going to be the archer towers at the front of the waves, the barrack placement, and then the Mausoleum at the bottom right-hand side. I think everything else you can kind of experiment with. And I'm just kind of looking around and seeing what needs upgraded. I ended up upgrading the Inferno Mage to help deal with these captains. And then I upgraded the harassers as well. Now notice at the top there, I actually was a little bit slow to react to this, but they will occasionally go through this top area as well. So fortunately I had the money to build towers, but just realize that they won't always go to the bottom left. Sometimes they'll go to the top. And that can be a problem if you're not prepared for it. Fortunately, it was just a little recruit guys, so we were fine. These Griffin guys are very annoying because they pick off your infantry units. So if you let a bunch of them clump up, they can slowly start to kill off all of your infantry, and even your hero if you're not careful. So just be wary of that. They are very weak though. The Griffins are very weak to the archer towers. They just have to be focused. And you can see right now we're focusing on the recruits, so the Griffins are able to sit there and just bomb. But once the archer towers start focusing on, they should die fairly quickly. As the... Yeah. Harass with them. We're just upgrading our archer towers more. So No big deal. So notice at this point we went ahead and upgraded our Inferno Mage all the way to level 4. Help take care of anything that's armored. On this top side, there's quite a few of these captains, and they're starting to clump up. So I put a Mausoleum down because I knew that eventually we're going to have armor as well. And I dropped armor shredding. And I dropped a soul impact there to get as much damage as they could off. At this point, I also went ahead and upgraded both of the spiders, so they have the maximum amount of eggs. So the idea was archers in front and then the Mausoleum in the back for anything that happens to slip by. And I like the spider webs are pretty cool. They slow down anything for maximum stalling power, so they can just sit there and take all this damage from the archers. I really like for the Mausoleum, the center power, the one that upgrades your spectrals. Those are very cool because it increases the DPS of the tower. I feel like that's really important, especially if you already have enough stalling power. Gargoyles are also great to have too, but just kind of build gargoyles when you need to. I would prioritize though on the DPS. And eventually your hero is going to move to the top, but right now he's just chilling out at the bottom. Finally we have a level 4 harasser on the top right hand side. And we're going to be doing something fun. We're going to be upgrading these harassers, giving them max amounts of arrows. They're just such a fun unit to have. They're like a barracks and an archer tower combined. They do lots of damage, but they also have enough stalling power to last for a while. So very cool. It's kind of tricky sometimes when you have a lot of money to know what to spend it on. The key is just to find things that will be the most effective. So harasser is generally a pretty good option, especially pretty much any tower you see that's very active doing lots of stuff. Good idea to go ahead and upgrade it. A level like this where you have a lot of money and a lot of different options, it's pretty flexible. I found the strategy to work fairly well. I didn't have, except for a couple guys that almost got past, for the most part I didn't have any major trouble. So just as long as I upgraded things in the right order and kind of took care of threats as they appeared, it was pretty smooth. There are some upgrades I would probably stay away from. For example, the crow towers. The crows on the archer towers I thought were kind of garbage. Mausoleum is such a powerful tower. I think that you really can't go wrong, almost regardless of what you upgrade with Mausoleums. The gargoyles are always good. The DPS is always good. And we're starting to see a lot of things. Multiple captains coming out now. Lots of little recruits and things. I upgraded the arrows as well on these archer towers to get a little bit extra damage over time. And in the bottom right-hand side, there's a ton of captains coming out. They will end up coming out at this top center area, so I believe I rotate my hero up at this point. This is wave 13. Yeah, I do. And we're just maxing out our Mausoleum now to try to do as much damage as possible. Big clump of captains. We're probably going to drop a soul impact in a second. My hero's just kind of coming up to stall out a little bit. And yeah, max out possessions coming. Got a pit lord, drop my hero power. We have this like massive clump of enemies. So much fighting going on. It's kind of fun to watch. And as these captains come up, I believe I drop a soul impact. And I'd upgrade the harasser to level 4. Oh, no, I guess I'll hold off on the soul impact. My hero did die, unfortunately, but that's okay. We were able to hold off. Now, lots of little stuff coming up at the bottom. I went ahead and got a level 3 artillery tower. I really do like the artillery towers. I just find them hard to use. But we will see a little bit. They'll see a little bit of action at the end, so that should be fun. And again, the Griffin's just getting shredded by the Inferno Mage and the archer towers. There we go, level 4 finally coming out for the artillery. Massive amounts of area damage. And level 4 harasser as well. So we'll go ahead and call this wave in pretty soon. And this is the final wave. If your defenses look anything like this, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. It's pretty straightforward from here. I kept our hero at the top just to kind of deal with things. I think that was like the most risky or the kind of the final line of defense where he is standing at. So we wanted to be very careful that nothing slipped by. These Griffins, as you can see, they do drop lots of stuff on your harassers and they just start killing everything. So you got to be careful when they start clumping up. I went ahead and put mines into the artillery tower, but I think it was a little bit too late because they start checking their mines, and then they end up not doing anything, which is kind of sad. At the top here is where I drop my soul impact just to prevent anything from getting by. I would have loved to put mines a little bit earlier, so they would have got some use out of them, but it's okay. Now we got a last little group of captains as they slowly die to the Mausoleum Tower and the harassers. And that should be game. I rotate my hero down a little bit too late. It's alright. It was over anyway. I hope you guys found that entertaining. We got a nice little animation here to finish the wave off. A sad day. My bow is broken. Yes, it is. And that is game. Hope you guys found that entertaining. Hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.